It may be qualifying day for a 12-hour endurance race, but it's an endurance for teams to do races.
It's Griffin's Bend.
Through the year.
Has it playing as if it were the race tomorrow. So that makes this vital. And we've got Skippy bouncing on the road, and the teams have done a very good job, several of getting out the way. They've cleared the gate at Griffin's Bend on the run up Mountain Straight. This is just an occupational hazard of racing at Mount Panorama, and there is actually a dedicated flag, and we've gone red straight away. They'll close pit exit. There's actually a dedicated flag to determine that in the way they wave, double wave yellows.
On my very first lap in a race car here on the mountain, I got the Canguro flag at Griffin's Bend. And I thought, that's it, I can pull in now, I've done it all.
That makes you Australian. I think you're formally induced into the country. Well, I mean, we talk about the quirks of this racetrack and the 6.2 k's of bitumen around it, but it's everything that surrounds it as well that can often play a role. And the first time we had some serious international teams and drivers at this place, they couldn't quite believe that in the drivers' briefing notes there was a segment about kangaroos and what to do when they were on the racetrack.
Yeah, I don't think for anyone that's not raced here or in Australia before, it is a huge surprise, but it's certainly not a new scenario for anyone who's been spectating here through the years, the past few days. You know, every race, they've got to be mindful of it. So,
get up, mate. You're right.
Yeah. Just wants a good glimpse of these new GT3 cars. Well, come back to have a look at the Castrol Aston there.
Well, yeah, and the 999, one of the new Mercedes, of course. And as close as the Roo was there, would have been able to check the new headlight arrangement there. There you go.
That's down on, that's Mountain Straight.
Yeah.
Those fences are put up to protect them, but ain't no fence high enough to catch a Skippy at the best of times. When they want to get somewhere, they go.
In fairness, I did notice they did have the right credentials, so that was all right.
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, to explain, people overseas might be watching this going, well, why is this happening? Why are they coming into the circuit? The state of quite significant drought in this part of the world. Bathurst is on very heavy and significant water restrictions. The surrounding area is very dry, so the stuff they graze on for food is quite dry. The area around the circuit after some rain earlier in the week is actually quite green, as you can see. So that means they've come into the area, and the event takes all the precautions they possibly can to manage this, and with the Bathurst Regional Council and the wildlife groups in the area. But sometimes, unfortunately, it's just unavoidable, but it's a quintessentially Australian thing regardless, isn't it?
Now, and I'll tell you now, the international drivers, I know they're losing some time, but they will be absolutely lapping this up. We have to say, no Roos have been harmed so far, which is obviously quite important. The drivers did a great job, as did race control, in getting the red flag out straight away. So just waiting for the wildlife to clear.
Track conditions a bit greasy by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Struggling for traction. And yeah, just to confirm that
compound on there.
None have been hit by any racing cars, which is great. Lucky the timing worked with cars rolling out of pit lane on a slow outlap, just finding their feet. Pardon the pun.
So hits it to Shay Adam in the pit lane. Morning, Shay.
Good morning, John. I was just down in one of the garages all the way toward the pit exit that tends to be a bit more German, so you can figure out which manufacturer that is for yourself. But there was a comment made once the kangaroos were bouncing across the track. Hey, kangaroos do exist. So the international team's really appreciating the fact that they get to see a little bit of wildlife. I'm heading down to Bentley now, John. I'm going to give you an update on those cars as soon as I get there, because last time we saw them, neither of them were running on track. One was having a full engine change, and one was trying to figure out what the problem was with their engine.
You obviously have a voice, Shay, that interests kangaroos, because as soon as you came on the PA, the Roo stopped and started listening to what you were saying there. So clearly interested in what's happening down at Bentley. Quite a remarkable thing. Shay Adam, the Kangaroo Whisperer.
I don't think that one's bought a ticket. We need to just go and check his credentials for being in that spot there.
So we are under red flag and the clock has stopped. We only ran for 40 seconds or so before the Roo raid on the Audi Mountain Straight. and race control reacting very quickly indeed. So we're not losing any track time at the moment. As I say, this is going to be one of those things, JP, for the international drivers. Remember when we had snow in practice for the World Endurance Championship at Silverstone a few years ago, where everybody, I think it was Loïc Duval who said, I'm taking the car out, take some pictures from the screen, because nobody's going to believe me when I say I was out in a prototype in the snow. The guys are going to be saying, did you get that? Did you get that? Did you get me and the kangaroo?
I was having a conversation earlier on in the week about the unpredictable nature of motorsport, and I still, you know, the years I've been watching it, and the people around that have been watching it for probably double that time, there's still going to be something that you haven't evaluated before, a new scenario, and that's the beauty of motorsport in the outdoors, in a non-sanitised environment as well. These things can happen, but it's like you say, there's protocol in place, there's planning in place. Sometimes you can't plan for all eventualities, though.
What, me? Who, me?
Sometimes this will be a reasonable delay while they make sure that all of the kangaroos are cleared from that vicinity of the circuit.
Yeah.
Good workout, running up Mountain Straight, Griffin's Bend, Audi cutting up to BP Ultimate Reed Park.
I'm not surprised we saw that one just
Having a
pause.
breather?
Yeah, it was. The chest was going in and out there.
It's a 1 in 6 gradient. It's about as steep as you're going to get in a racetrack anywhere in the world. So Skippy's getting a workout on this. So while we're under red flag, let's touch on what happened yesterday. 4 practice sessions, 3.5 hours, give or take a little bit of running here at Mount Panorama. And it was at the end of the day, Mercedes-AMG 888 Race Engineering 1 and 2 on the fastest times, with Shane van Gisbergen at the end of the day topping the pops with a 2:03.96. Anton Di Pasquale was second. The 777, the Ben Motorsport Park car, just 2 tenths behind.
It's an even longer delay for Bentley to get to go out and test out the new engine. Jordan Pepper, driver in the number 7 Bentley. Your car, the last time I left it, was in a lot of different...
Good, yeah. Expect the race.
Thanks, Jordan.
And in the Pirelli replay, in super slow-mo, that's what a kangaroo looks like at full tilt. I liked Mr. Pepper's comment about the line up to the cutting, and I agree. With traction issues, though, as we saw, so that might be... Teams will go back and have a look at some data and find out what the track conditions are like based on what Skippy was handling.
Extraordinary, isn't it?
Are the roos on last year's compound still?
I think they're on the same. They'd be on the same tyre as the GT cars were last year. Control. So he's now made it up to McPhillamy Park and to Skyline. And
there were several on the track, it should be said.
That's the Vista. No, I'm going to claim that that's the same one. I think he's just putting in a shootout lap. It is the same one. That's been confirmed.
Excellent.
Outstanding camera operators all the way around the circuit have followed it.
Photographers are loving this, aren't they? They've hiked all the way up the top there. Drew Gibson is here from the UK, Drew from the northeast of England, and he will be lapping this up for the first time that he's been here.
Good line. Get a bit of curb on the inside here, just to straighten out the S's on the run down to the spares box dipper. Yeah, just missed the apex a little bit. Oh no, here he goes. Late apex, different line. But
not seen this one before.
That's a penalty. The shortcut over the hill there is a penalty. You'll lose your fastest lap for that. So unfortunately, Skippy's lap is now invalidated.
Okay. And he's obviously had the radio call for that. Distraught that he ran over the curb there in the qualifying lap has been discounted.
Come on, mate. You can do this in a pit stop. Skyline's not the place to preen yourself. So this is the area down at turn 2, the run up top of Mountain Straight. Really strong going up the hill.
Category, so yeah, active and Mercedes can do a 2:03.9.
Before Van Gisbergen strategies were in practice and who were
for the warning of the kangaroo, and all of the drivers responding very quickly indeed. Excellent work by all concerned. The marshals on posts, thank you ladies and gents, and the drivers. No cars collected any animals, no cars collected any cars either, and it was...
We were just laughing at the fact...
In fact, that's not great. We've seen people truly spectacular. More 5 at dirt there. That's not great. We've seen people there with 2 wheels off on the inside on the run up to turn 2, just trying to send the speculator up into Griffin's Bend. And then this, to get the wall.
Oh, is it a refusal or is it straight over? No, lovely.
Well,
Didn't even bank it.
No, I know. I thought that you.
Quality and performance are what we stand for.